Welcome back. We're on the old rat rod again. Let's get into it. Back on the beast. You know, we need like some kind of catchy name for it. I need you guys' help with that. I can't come up with anything but vanilla stuff like, you know, rotten Olive or rusty Olive. I don't know. That seems too predictable and vanilla. I don't know. Yeah, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. There's got to be some kind of need for this thing. Some kind of cool, catchy name. Anyways, first episode where we've kind of hit our YouTube first stair step or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We got our 500 subscribers, which you did that a while ago. Thank you. We also got our 3,000 watch hours, which is what we just got. And, you know, we got to do all that in a year, blah, blah, blah. We were doing pretty good, and then I just kind of fell off there for a while. And blah, blah, blah. But we're back on it. Things are doing pretty good. Honestly, it's going a little slower than I thought. I kind of thought this YouTube thing would be a lot easier. It's kind of why I dropped off there for a minute. I thought, man, do I really want to do this? But, you know, I truly do enjoy it. I hope that now that the, you know, it's our first step. Hopefully YouTube kind of branches out a little bit more and more you guys see us. And if you do see us, smash that subscribe button. Let us know you like us. If you like the rat rod stuff, you like painted stuff, you know, we've got all kinds of stuff we're working on, and we're doing such a variety of stuff. I can't see that we wouldn't be working on something you don't enjoy. But anyhow, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for following along. Just what I want to say. Let's get into this old jewel. So we've been messing around with her, really just trying to dial it in, figure out parts. This is so hard when you're hodgepodging everything together. You can't just, you know, call up the parts store and say, oh, I need, you know, brake pads for this, blah, blah, blah. It's just, you know, or a radiator hose, like a radiator hose, for instance, you know, I mean, like we got a Pontiac radiator going to a small block Chevy, you know, and this is a different size than this one, and same on the other end, and you know, trying to figure out the angles and all that stuff. Basically, you just go to the parts store, that's what I do, and you just get 10 different radiator hoses that you think might work, and you come back with hopefully one or two that you try, and you know, sometimes you cut a hose up and it don't even work out. So some of this is just trial and error. It's just what part of this is, figuring out these fittings and all that good stuff. That's what I've been trying to figure out, thread pitches, and some of that stuff just takes up so much time, you know, it just takes up so much time. And trying to get a good list, sometimes I just hate waiting, you know, a couple days on one brass fitting or something like that, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Anyways, like I say, hopefully this episode will be running, we'll be driving, doing burnouts. The really only bit of fab work that we got left is basically a drive shaft. It's basically left. Our engine's good, you know, so I mean, if you haven't heard that, go check out the last episode. It sounds really good. Hopefully our transmission's the same way. So we've got, like I say, a good parts list going for a fan. You know, we've got gauges, like I say, switches. We're going to shift into the next thing, which is going to be the shifter. So, got this bad boy off of eBay. Looks like a pretty good one, really. 75 bucks, 70 bucks, I don't know. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Really heavy. I mean, like, honestly, like, really heavy. Chrome is nice. I picked off one off of Amazon, which I'm not knocking Amazon because obviously I'm, you know, I like them, whatever, but it was $85. Had a little bit different handle, you know, shifter. I liked it better because it was a little cooler looking. I'm telling you, hot pile of garbage. The chrome plating on it was just literally flaking off before I even took it out of the package, the plastic wrapping. And then I've put together a lot of shifters out of just nothing, like nothing. This thing didn't have enough parts for nothing. It was just garbage. So anyways, yeah, happy to get this one. It's kind of what we've been waiting. I think this one's going to work out just fine. We're going to slip this bad boy in, then we can get the floor in, blah, 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 blah. Keep moving forward, you know? Let's keep rolling. Yeah, shifter's in, doing shifter things. It's a pretty nice setup, really. Bolts on here, straight L bracket comes up, you know, and a bolt on here so you can put the shifter here or forward, which would put us right in the middle of our cross member. But I like that, you know, I mean, for future reference, you know, if a guy's looking for a good shifter, especially for, you know, what, 75 bucks, under 100 bucks, works pretty slick, you know. No instructions, but I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. The only thing I got tripped up on is this rod here on the other end. You can put the linkage is long enough, like you can make it fit in a couple different directions, and I had the shifter going backwards, so no big deal. The only other complaint I had is, you know, if you had it further forward or whatever, they give you 3 different positions, and the shorter two, all the hardware and stuff, threaded in just fine. The longer rod that I wanted to use, of course, none of the threads match nothing. I mean, nothing. So I had to retap everything all to match. No big deal though. Easy deal. Really happy with it. I think next we're gonna go ahead and floor her up, because that was the last thing I was kind of waiting on. Got everything Loctited on that. It's done. So we'll just pop the handle back off, cut a hole in our floor, slap our floor down there, and I think we'll be done under there. So yeah, nothing too fancy, but nice to have some hooks back here. Floor turned out pretty nice too. Happy with it. Got my chair in here, you know. Yeah, it turned out really slick though. Happy with it. We'll probably do just a little bit of grinding. Probably flush those up a little bit, and probably going to hit a little seam sealer and undercoat on that before the end of the night, so it'll be dry. Drying overnight. But I think before we do that, been messing around a little bit and had this old, like, I don't know, what is this, like an old file drawer or something, or separator or something, whatever. I'm thinking the front here, the radiator, you know, the hood comes clear down here, basically, you know, blocking off half our radiator. Kind of worried about, you know, potential overheating issue. So I was thinking, oh, and I added a horn, but it was just one bolt, and they come with this chintzy little bracket. I don't know if that's going to survive, but they come with it, so we're going to try it. Anyhow, that pretty well, just kind of, sorry, tough to do with one hand. Basically going to sit like that. We're just going to tack weld it on, and then maybe I'll just puff can it black so it doesn't stick out so much, but I think that'll kind of ramp the air up there a little bit. And then also I got a little license plate mount. I think we'll do something like that. Got a little piece here. I think we'll kind of come off like that, you know, weld it, whatever. Onto that, you know, whatever. I'm gonna set you guys up. That's what we're gonna do. Not bad, huh? Time that dried up, it looks pretty slick. Can't even hardly tell. And, you know, license plates, kinda, it is what it is. Keeps them off your back, so don't look too bad. I think next we're gonna get the old grinder out and flap attack that. Get the old seam seal and undercoat out. All right, welcome back. We're at the local junkyard. See if we can't go get us a seat. And I don't know, let's see what else we can find. Of course, what we want looks to be at the end. So I think we want a Dodge Chrysler van seat. I'm pretty sure. I think they come out pretty easy. And it's all the way at the end. Alright, got me a seat out of that old junker. You know, would have videoed more of it, but the door wouldn't come open. Had to take it out through the back window. Whatever. And got a hood prop rod off of the old Danger Ranger right there. So hopefully that's all we need. We'll find out. Get back to the shop and see if this stuff's gonna work. I think it's gonna work out fine. Back at it. Been a good weekend. Went to the salvage yard. Always love that. Got us a seat, a hood prop. Hood prop's gonna have to wait because we're not messing with the hood right now. We're gonna get onto the seat. We also went to the swap meet. That was pretty fun. Local. Local for me, Lincoln, Nebraska. It was only like an hour 20 for me. Literally get on my highway, straight there. Easy. I love it. Met Mordsky there, which is, you know, I've been going to that swap meet since I was, you know, littler than Owen, basically. I've been going my whole life, you know, and he's never been down there, he said. 6.5 hours his way from him. Threw us a sticker, threw us a koozie I got somewhere around in here. Visited with me for a while. Very nice guy. I was running around there after I did my shopping with a GoPro, trying to make a cool video for you guys. Make sure to go check that one out. Let me know what you think of it. Yeah, and he's flagged me down. Whatever, go check it out. It was very neat to meet him. Like I say, very nice guy. And, you know, there's really no secret to YouTube, like he said. Just keep on keeping on, you know, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah, we've been messing around with, we got our undercoated on the inside. That's kind of where we left off, and that turned out nice. Really happy with it. Really just to kind of, you know, take out the nasty smell, you know, this old metal and the mice, you know, you get their feces and all that good stuff. You just get that old, boy, if you guys know the smell, you know what I'm talking about. And you just want to seal that up, trying to get rid of it. Usually that does the trick. And we're going to do, you know, some sound deadening and stuff in there. So, yeah, we're not done in there quite yet. Been messing around getting the brakes peeled off. I started messing around with getting a shock peeled off, making sure everything's going to work. We've got a pile of parts we need to, you know, keep plugging away. Got radiator hoses. This one was just kind of an eyeballer. You know, the parts store, they got a row of hoses. And this is just one I eyeballed out. I picked two out, actually. And the first one I picked was gonna work, and I almost made it work. But this one was just a hair longer, and I liked it more. Had to cut a couple inches off. Ooh, it's down there on the floor. What, like 3 inches? And that's all. And she slipped right on. At least now we've got a number that we can, you know, order a hose if we ever needed one in the future. And we know exactly what we got. Lower hose, kind of the same situation. Had to chop this little bit off, but yeah, we got a number now. It's fit, it's done. Oh, I guess while we're down there, we did tranny lines. They're not finished. We just slipped them onto the radiator. And, oh, and a fuel line. We need to get a hard line going back. Figure once we raise her up, we'll get all that stuff dialed in. Also, we got half a fan shroud. You know, that was left over from the 69 Mustang we did. and I don't know, I just saved it because really it was trash, and I was whatever. It didn't work out on that, but I'm glad I saved it because look, we made her work on this. You know, better than nothing. Definitely going to do its job, I think. What else? Oh, we've been got the headers sealed up. Oh, we got new hard copper oil line. If you guys have ever run this stuff, I personally have had a fire when I was a youngin' on my first hot rod I built when I was like 14. It caught fire. Luckily, I got it out. That stuff is dangerous, so I don't use it for more than mock-up because it's, like I say, stuff's dangerous. Use the hard copper line. We got some around here. You know, just buck up, spend the money, get that stuff, you know. Anyhow, I think we are going to move on to the old sheet. We'll get her mounted, and I unbolted all the garbage off the bottom and deleted it. I saved the bolts so we can just zip them right back up in there. I think we're going to delete the headrests. Yeah, I don't think it needs to be any riser or nothing. I think we just bolt her straight to the floor. And eventually we're going to do something better with this. But yeah, for right now, it's got seatbelt for the little guys. I don't know. Made it work. All right, so did a little marky here. Got one of our bolts. I don't know, not much bigger, maybe like 7/16. I know it's metric, but yeah, we've got a bolt hole right, let's see, right here. I kind of got a little mark right there. So I'm basically just going to eyeball these front two, kind of, and see how close we get. And then we'll kind of have something to measure off of for the back too. So that's the plan. I'm gonna drill some holes. Well, the seat is coming along pretty nicely. Figured I'd kind of get you guys caught up on what I'm doing. So, front side, pretty simple. We just end up, this factory location here is actually at a little bit of an angle on this one. So I didn't want to use that. And this one here is nice and flat and right out towards the edge. You know, we could just mark out our hole real easy. Already had a 3/8 hole, so lots of simplicity there. Just slipped a 3/8 bolt through there, and then I figured, well, we need a little bit of a riser, because if you notice this plastic thing here is just a little bit, you know, down from the seat on both sides. So kind of spaced her up about a 1/2 inch here. I think, you know, from what I'm trying to figure out, I think that's about what we need. And just kind of tack welded her in there, whatever, working out fine. The back side, I was hoping that this was going to kind of be a little closer to the floor, but if you notice, you know, we got just a little bit of, you know, whatever there. So I finally figured out where our hole needs to be for that one. Took a couple attempts, you know, we'll weld that back out, no big deal. But the back side, like I say, needs just a little bit of a spacer. I didn't want to use, you know, all that garbage, so I want to try to keep it, you know, tight to the floor, whatever. So just cut a couple pieces of scrap tubing, nothing special. Welded some washers on the end. That's just gonna bolt there, and then we're actually gonna weld it right down to the floor, and then we'll hog that hole out there from the bottom side, and then you'll be able to, you know, bolt from the underside up through there into the seat, you know, bolting the seat down. I'm not gonna go with, you know, 2 in the back and 1 in the front. I'm just gonna do 4 bolts. That's what I've always done. It's always worked out fine. Whatever. Yeah, once we get the seat in, then we can get our steering wheel done. So I'm kind of excited to get this going. So like I say, I'm going to burn all that in, just be part of the floor, and then the seat will just be studded on the front side, bolted on the back side. I think it's going to be perfect. And it's not going to move front and back. That me and Kayla can both reach the pedals from where it's at. And we're, I guess I would say, average. So whatever, good enough for me, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's finish her up. Alright, the inside's drying up, seat's done, kind of drying up, so I think next we're going to mess with, we need to get the battery tray here mounted, and then we can go ahead and get our battery cables, fuel line, you know, we can kind of get some of that stuff underneath tied up is what I'm thinking. We need to get our holes here. So I got Amazon's finest battery box. I think it was like, what was it? 30 bucks maybe? Not for sure. I think it was 30 bucks. Anyways, we're gonna slap her up like that and just whoop, 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 whoop. Bolt her right through the front. I think we'll probably just paint the heads of the bolts black, and what the hey, who cares? And then just run the cables down through. So let's drill some holes. been scooting right along under here. Battery cables are done, front to back, hooked to the starter, hooked to the battery. We got the ground cable up here, hooked to the frame, nice and clean. Whatever, worked out nice. I ended up squirting a little, I'll show you guys maybe later, it's a little seam sealer up in those holes on the top side around that aluminum toolbox. So they're nice and secured in there and whatever. Kind of works as like a grommet, I guess. Fuel line is finished, other than I'm waiting on some clamps to come in later today. They'll just kind of bolt up to these body mounts and that'll hold it there. Anyways, so fuel, battery, that stuff's kind of done. We got shocks all the way around done. Went ahead and got the speedometer cable hooked up here and going up through the cab, because we're going to try to be pretty proper with this thing, you know. We got transmission lines. I opted for rubber just because we're away from all the heat, short distance, and this thing's pretty light, stock basically, so shouldn't have any troubles there, I wouldn't think. So, you know, that's done, all ran nice out of the way. Kind of put this extra cover here, just, you know, whatever for protection. Replaced the kickdown cable with Amazon's finest little braided job. Looks like it's gonna work out just fine. Yeah, underneath here, like I say, pretty good. We need to get Driveshaft going. Next, I'd like to get it off the hoist. So I'd like to get on the interior. We need to get our seat back in and sound dead and all that good stuff. But I'm pretty sure I have, I'm almost positive I have everything for the Driveshaft. Brakes are our next big thing, and I've been kind of, you know, it's been torn apart for a few days here. Been waiting on getting the drums turned and getting parts, basically. Some of these parts have been a little, I don't know, not real tough to get, but tough to get, you know what I mean? A couple days here, a couple days there, and trying to find some of this stuff and order some of this stuff. Had to hit up a couple different parts stores, blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to be really nice in a couple days, like really nice. And we need to get this video out anyways, so I'd like to get this baby driving, like I told you I would, or at least, you know, we're gonna attempt to. So we need to get brakes on it, and or just in case we get halfway through this and some of these parts aren't right, we can just kind of get them ordered and get going. So let's go ahead and start with the brakes, get that going, and then we'll move to the drive shaft. So let's do that. And we're definitely gaining. The front brakes honestly went together a lot better than I thought they would. We've got them set up pretty good. Got just a slight drag to them. Happy with that. We'll see how she stops. We might have to, you know, fine tune it. We'll see. We got the rubber lines on. Went ahead and kind of greased everything while we were up here. Basically down to just slapping some hard lines up. And we re-greased the wheel bearings, all that good stuff, you know, seals. So honestly, yeah, front's done, other than running a hard line, but I thought, well, just kind of do all that at once. Basically, if we're gonna get the tools out to do hard lines, thought it'd be funny, and we just go ahead and do the rears. The rear end kind of needs gone through, it needs seals and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Plan on doing that, but I thought, well, we just go ahead and get the brakes on real quick, because I can, you know, pull the axles and do all that stuff with the brakes on it. But of course, there's a snag. Got this one all cleaned up. Someone over the time, you know, stiffed the old parts house and just took half the brake kit. And of course, you know, whatever, got past him, so it got to us. I never checked it. Yeah, it's gonna be a couple more days before we get brakes. So rear, which we really don't need rear brakes for as little short. I just plan on driving on the property. So, you know, we don't, you know, whatever, we just need enough to slow us down. But we need a drive shaft. You know, that's kind of that's going to be a big hold up, right? So I got this, I think it's out of like a box Chevy 80s Caprice. I'm not 100% sure, doesn't matter. The yoke fits our transmission, that's what does matter, and it's plenty long enough. That's, you know, good deal right there. This drive shaft here, of course, like I say, I've already cut the end off of that one. So I thought, well, maybe we just, you know, sacrifice the rest of this shaft and take that in, put it on here. Probably going to happen, but we need a U-joint, so I doubt they're going to have one in stock. We'll see. I've got this option too. It looks like this might be just right diameter to fit just inside this. If that's the case, we're going to bone out this drive shaft because that U-joint fits the rear end. So I don't know, we're going to see how that works out together. I'm going to get it down on jack stands. You want to do this with typically, you know, basically the end weight, you know, so we don't want to do this as just like a bare chassis. Kind of want to have it as a loaded car, loaded suspension. So we're going to put it down on some jack stands, get it off the hoist, get the suspension loaded on just the rear is all that matters. That way we can get our drive shaft link correct. So yeah, let's get set up and do that. All right, so I got her set up on stands, front and rear. So that's, you know, weight of the suspension is like it would be on the ground. So that's how we want to get her set up. Get you guys nice angle here. Here we go. All right, so on this one, luckily, it's an old used drive shaft, so it's kind of self-explanatory where it needs to go. But typically, if you were building a new one or you had a new yoke or what have you, you want about an inch of play here, you know, for in and out travel, you know, for the weight of suspension, you know, as it's going down the road, that's what it's doing constantly. Not quite that much, but you know, that's what it's doing. And when you get weight in the back or whatever. So anyhow, that's what we got. We got what, a little over an inch maybe. Yeah, an inch. It's an inch and an eighth. So looking pretty good there. Mainly though, our biggest measurement, and we're gonna have a nice driveline angle, which I like that. We've got plenty of clearance in here. Heck, that's clear on top of the pumpkin of the rear end. So I think we could pretty well max the suspension out, and we're still not going to be bottoming out anything. But our main measurement we care about here is center to center of U-joint. So with the suspension loaded. So that's where we want to be. We are 52 and let's say quarter. 52 and a quarter here. Let's see if I can't get that hand around here for you. Yeah, does that look better? 52 and a quarter-ish. So anyways, that's where we're gonna make it. We'll get this baby out and made. All right, so drive shafts, it's one of those situations you don't want to take lightly here. That is kind of a big old death machine. You get her off balance, wobbling, throwing out. You definitely don't want that thing coming out on you. You know what I mean? Or tearing up your equipment. So I see where a lot of people, you know, they shy away from doing these and, you know, they send them out. It's expensive though. You get a nice drive shaft new, blah, blah, blah. You're probably spending anywhere from, on the cheap side, it's been a while since I bought one, but probably like $250 on up to, man, I've paid darn near $1,000 for one before, you know? I mean, that's just how it goes. That's why we try to do it the way we're doing it, you know what I mean? This one's playing a little difficult. I wish it was like this shaft here, nice and simple. Those are super simple to shorten up. You just grind around the old sleeve. They've got a little collar that kind of comes out into here, kind of presses down into the shaft, makes it really easy to keep them nice and square, all that good stuff. Of course, that one's not long enough. This little bell here just makes that difficult. Changes size because we've got a different size here. So I was kind of get to measuring, you know, got to get all professional, get the old caliber out. Chopped a little bit of this shaft off here. And I got the inside diameter of that. Let's see, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Anyways, got her lined up there, inside diameter on that pipe, so it'd be inside there. Go on the outside of that bad boy, and man, that fits nice. I feel like that would press inside of that really nice and tightly. And the parts store thinks they've got a couple different options for U-joints. So I think we're just gonna, because man, if we start this, we're committed. But I feel like this is better because we can get like 6 inches slid up into this one and really make her a nice solid shaft is what I'm hoping. So, and that should keep it nice and square, you know, because the longer we go in there, the more chance of it being square you got. That's the problem with this one. So we need to be right in there. That was my initial thought. We're basically butt welding that together. That's gonna be super hard to keep that square, you know, so I think this is gonna be our option. We're gonna chop that baby off, shorten it up. Hopefully it presses tightly into that one, so let's try. All right, I'm gonna be honest, if this works out, that just slid together like, I mean, I had to tap it in there pretty good. And I wanted to make sure that the U-joints were straight with each other. It's usually about the only thing I worry about. But anyways, yeah, I tapped that in there. It's probably like clear up into here. And I left it about a 1/4 inch long because we can always go in, and I'm figuring coming back out it's gonna be difficult. So left it a little long so we can always go in, is what I'm saying. Let's see how she fits, because man, that worked out nice. I hope it works. Oh, please work. Man, look at that. That is like butter. Yeah, I think we go a little shorter. Get you guys up here a little closer. That's lined up pretty well where we need to be U-joint wise. I'd say that's pretty darn close. Within 1/8 of an inch. And we're pretty tight there. I'd say we're down to like 3/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap that on in. The rest of the, I think it was another 1/4 inch that I thought I needed to go. And I think we'll be just fine. Look at that though, that's gonna work out so nicely. That angle is perfect. And that's gonna weld up nice. I'm not even worried about that anymore. Sometimes you just gotta get out of your own head, basically, because I was sweating the heck out of this. And we just get a U-joint in it and weld her up. We're 1 step closer to burnouts. Yeah, we got a drive shaft. She's in. You can do snug her up and stuff, but yeah, I took a Precision 369. They sent me a couple options, but that's the one that worked out. Yeah, like I say, just need to snug her up, to put her nuts on and whatever. But yeah, got plenty of room up in here. Our driveline angle's nice. Looks like everything's gonna work out just fine. So, good morning. Back on the ground. We're getting close. We're getting really close, really, to be honest. Decided we're just gonna screw the rear, not worry about that right now. We mainly just need to focus on getting a little bit of front brakes. So before I pull her off the hoist real quick, we're gonna run a hard line and get it up to the master cylinder. I was considering doing front and rear, but again, we wanna drive this thing. The weather's looking really good today, tomorrow, so I really wanna get her out and see what we got. So like I say, we're gonna do some front brakes. Hard lines, we need to get a throttle cable. We're probably gonna have to run to town because I don't got nothing around here for that. And then the kickdown cable, we're gonna have to make a bracket for both of those. So a little fab yet there, but that shouldn't take too long, hopefully. Main big deal, we need to get the seat back in it. We're not gonna get her sound dead in this episode. We're gonna have to come back for the next one on that one. We're gonna get the seat slip back in it for now, get the steering wheel on it. Hopefully we can get this thing drivable. So we'll probably just do some quick wiring, just you know, whatever. Like I say, we're just gonna stay here on property, but I really want to see if this transmission's good, and you know, whatever, get a little testing in. So see what we can get done today. All right, back on the ground. The family come out. Got the old big guy's help. Almost got to go to town, get a few things from the store, you know, all that kind of good stuff. But we need one more fitting for the brakes, so she's gonna stop by and get us that so we can get to braking. The next biggest thing, oh, she helped me get the seat in. Yeah, so we can get the steering wheel done tonight. I'd like to, I think next, I guess I did go ahead and get excited on the brake lines, and I didn't get them all the way done, but I got them run back to the rear rubber hose. We'll show you guys that next time it's up in the air, but I'm just going to cap it for now. You know, anyways, throttle. We're probably going to work on the throttle next. I think that'll be an easy project, you know, while I got little guy here. So I think let's work on, yeah, get a throttle going. Like I say, wiring's probably just going to be, you know, quick little test wires just to get us going. We just want to get her, just want to drive it. So let's get a throttle going. We got a throttle. Give you the old up close and personal. We're pretty much done for the night. Nothing too fancy here, just a piece of angle iron, a little washer welded on here for the tranny kickdown. And then we just got the piece of round rod, piece of little conduit hanger welded on there to hold that nice and tight, and it does. And then we just got a 1/4 inch bolt with a little tiny piece of 3/16 brake line there with one of them little, you know, universal cable stoppers or whatever. So yeah, throttle, pretty well done. Like I say, we need to run to town in the morning and get a return spring. But like I say, kind of done for the night. It's nice and it's plenty late. We got get the steering wheel done and add some fluids. This baby's pretty much done. Hopefully be having some fun tomorrow. So see you then. Good morning. Oh man, I'm excited. It's a nice morning already. We got some fluids in her. She's kind of just been sitting, you know, doing her thing. I had the bleeders open for a while. Just kind of, you'd be surprised how much air you can get worked out that way. Got a little coolant in it, but it's kind of settled down overnight. So, you know, it's already working some of the air out. Waiting on parts store's gonna be bringing me out some more coolant, a return spring. Ooh, what else are we getting? Oh, a radiator cap, yeah, because I'm just gonna, whatever, don't really need a new one, but why not? Anyhow, I think first comes first. I need to get the brake pedal bolted back in. I did go ahead and finish weld that all up, paint her up, whatever, nothing fancy. Need to get that put back in, and the brakes will be done, and then we're gonna work on getting column shortened and get a column mount here. plan is to use, this is my wheel. I'm sure you guys have seen it sitting up there for a minute. I picked it up, 20 bucks on Marketplace. Someone's like spray canned it silver, and it's kind of beat up, which I thought was perfect for this. And then I took the sandpaper and just kind of sanded that little ridge. I don't know, kind of gives it like a little two-tone effect. I don't know, I think it looks good. I think it fits the build. I really like that it's slotted here. I think that's my first one that I've had slotted. Usually they got the holes. So kind of a neat wheel. Plan on using this guy, quick detach. I've used this on almost all my columns I shorten. It's just super simple. Then at night, you know, if you're like on a road trip or something at the motel, you pop the steering wheel off, take it with you. It really deters people from taking it, you know? Yeah, anyways, pop that on there, shorten her up. Let's do it. We got a steering wheel. That's sweet, huh? Quick on and off. That thing got plenty hot, burnt the heck out of my arm accidentally touching it. But yeah, welded her in nice. Put that piece of solid rod down through there and welded it to this initial steering rod just because we had to grind so much of it off. I was concerned about the strength of it, so we just added that solid rod in there, welded her. Happy with it now. Quick little dirty, you know, mount, nothing fancy. As you can see, I've started playing around with wiring. Go back on there, would you? And got us a quick little kill switch here for the coil. Kind of crudely ran it. We're just trying to get this baby to run, you know? I think I'm gonna go see if Kayla is able to help me bleed the brakes, because it'll go that much faster. And I'm gonna get a little water, get some coolant in it, fire it up. Oh, I got a return spring on there too. It's definitely not permanent, but it's gonna be good enough for today's purposes. We just wanna go out and drive it. So it's feeling nice and warm out there, so I'd like to get her fired up and see if we can't drive it. So let's see what we can do. All right, we got the brakes bled. It's got power. It's squirting out on me. Yeah, so we got stopping power now just on the fronts. Got the old coolant bleeder out. Got the wiring kind of halfway, you know, think we'll make it work. I'm gonna get the timing line out real quick. We're gonna get her timed, get her warmed up, get some fluids in it, and then see if she'll do some burnouts. Swapping on the old carburetor. The old Amazon was just flooding out like a son of a gun. This is the one off the Mustang. I know it's not very good, but it's idling. It seems to rev, so let's go see what we can do. We don't really got much brakes, so I don't know about a burnout, but we'll see. First drive. Yeah? What do you guys think? I've had so much fun today. Did we have a few hurdles? I mean, we had a few. Carburetor put up a good fight. The old Amazon job, she started off pretty good on the initial startup, and the float, needle seat, whatever, just dumping fuel, just terrible. And this thing was off the old 69 Mustang that we did, and we replaced it for a reason too, because it's not worth a darn either. But anyways, it got us having some fun today. I'm very appreciative of that. We got to lay some dual stripes, you know, a couple times. That was, I mean, duals, that posies. I didn't expect that out of this. Anyways, that was cool. I'm excited. Runs good. Like I say, we'll have another carburetor in a few days. We got a little bit of wiring left. We got a little bit of, we need to do some rear brakes because she's kind of sketchy with just front brakes. We got a little bit of interior to finish up. We need some gauges, you know, blah, blah, blah. We got a little bit of dialing in to do. You guys gonna have to catch us up on the next one. I've had a lot of fun. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this. Let me know how I'm doing. You know, is this thing turning out all right? I hope so. Am I doing okay? I hope so. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, you know. As I mentioned, I guess real quick before, in the beginning of this video, we're trying to get the monetization or whatever, partnership, whatever you want to call it with YouTube. We got accepted, just the first hurdle. We're not into the big stuff yet. We're not in the big leagues yet. Thought we were. We need 4,000 watch hours. We need 1,000 subscribers. We're only at like 740 as of today. So make sure to hit that subscribe. Keep watching. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one.